at some questions on the logarithms. So before we swing into action, I want you to invite your friends, let them know the class is about commencing. All right, so quickly share the video with your friends. So let's wait for those people that are coming behind. Right? Okay, let's wait for others. All right. Now, don't forget to inform your mates that the class have started. All right. Okay. I think I'm saying just like 2 on board. Now, please share this video with your friends. Let them know the class have started. Okay. Okay. Once again, you are welcome to the class. And before we start today's class, I want you to get your writing materials ready because today we are going to be engaging ourselves. So we're making use of our 4-figure tables. So kindly get your 4-figure table ready because we are going to be doing a lot of work for me today. So that is what we are going to. So now get everything ready while we are waiting for others to join. And don't forget to share this video, share it with any platform where you have your mates that can be part of this class. Okay, so we are about starting now, right? So kindly share the video and get your 4-figure table and your writing material ready. Okay. Okay, I think we can start. Now, we are starting with the definition of logarithms because that is what we are doing. So we should know what exactly we are doing. All right, now, when we say logarithms, logarithm of a number to a given base is the power to which the base must be raised to give that number. Now, I take it again. Logarithm of a number to a given base is the power to which the base must be raised to give that number. Now, if I say logarithm of 1000 to the base of 10. Now, logarithm of 1000 to the base of 10 is the power to which this 10 must be raised to give 1000. This is what we call the number. This is the number. This is the number, and this is the base. So logarithm of a number to a given base is the power to which this base must raise to, the power to which 10 must raise to. So what must 10 raise to give 1000? Okay, 10 must raise to 3 because 10 times 10 times 10 is what? 1000. So logarithm of 1000 is what? Is 3. All right, so that is where we start our class with. So knowing the definition of logarithms. All right, now, so we want to now look at application of logarithms. So that is what we want to do basically today. So if you are just joining now, I want you to get your 4-figure table ready because we are going to be making use of the 4-figure table today. All right, so get your writing materials down and you must get ready to give me answers today because I want to see your response. I want to see your positive response. All right, okay, now let us look at the first one we have here. Now, you have to convert the following to standard form. Convert the following to standard form. Now, the first question we have here is 464 followed by 1/8 followed by 3/2000. Now, let's start with the first one. We are given 464. Now, we have to convert to standard form. Now, what does it mean to convert to standard form? A number in standard form is always in this form. A times 10 raised to the power of n, where A lies between 1 and 10, and n here is an integer. All right. So in this case, now we are going to move the point. Now, whenever you write a number, there's always a point at the back. So I'm moving this point to the back of the first significant digit in this number. So the first significant digit here is 4. So point must be at the back of the 4. All right, now, so if I move the point to the back of the first significant digit, I'll be having 4.64. Now, how many times have I moved the point? I've moved the point twice. So it's going to be times 100 because I've moved it 2 times. So if I move it 3 times, it's going to be what? 3,000. If I move it once, that's times 10. All right. Okay, so now this is going to be 4.64 times 10 raised to the power of 2 because I need to express it in this form as the power of 10. So now this number is in standard form. So whenever I check a standard form, I must see a point at the back of the first significant digit, and also it must have times 10 raised to the power of an integer. All right, so this number now is in standard form. That's the first one. Now let's look at the second one. We have 1/8. Now we want to convert this to standard form. Now the first thing is to convert this number to decimal number. All right, so how do we do that? Okay, so now you ask yourself, how many 8 are you going to see in 1? So that is 0. Okay, you put 0 points. Now the next thing is to add 0 to the 1 we have here. So this one becomes 10. So how many 8 are you going to see in 10? You will only see 1 8, but you have a remainder of 2, right? You have a remainder of 2. So put 0 at the back of the remainder and ask yourself, how many 8 are you going to see in 20? And you can only see 2 because 2 8 gives you 16. So you have 2. Okay, so you have a remainder of what? 4. So put 0 at the back of the remainder. So and that's 40. So how many 8 are you going to see in 40? That is what? 5. So you have 5. All right. So now what we have done now, we have converted 1/8 to what? To decimal. All right, now the next thing is to convert this to standard form. Don't forget what I said. I said converting a number to standard form, we move the point to the back of the first significant digit. Now look at this number now, 0.125. Now the first significant digit here is 1. Now, so it can't be 0 because 0 is not significant. So the first significant digit here is 1. While the second significant digit here is what? 2. And the third is what? 3. Is 5. Now, so let's move the point to the back of the first significant digit. So you have 1.25. Now, you can see we move the point to the back. So, and the point is moving to the back. Now, in your number line, if you are moving to the back, that means you are moving to the negative side. All right. So now this is going to be times 1/10 because you moved your point to the back. All right. And this is the same thing as 1.25 times 10 raised to the power minus 1. Okay. So now the standard form of 1/8 is this. Good. Now let's look at the third one. So we have 3/2000. Right. Now you have to convert this to standard form. Now the first thing is to express this in decimal form. So how do we do that? Okay, so now just like we did this, you ask yourself, how many 2000 are you going to see in 3? So of course now that's going to give you 0. You write 0 point. You put 0 at the back of 3. That's 30. Now how many 2000 can you see in 30? That is what? 0. So you still put 0 at the back of 30. That gives you 300. So how many 2000 are you going to see in 300? It's still 0. You put 0 here. Okay. So the next question is, How many 2,000 are you going to see in 3,000? You only see one. You see one. It will remain what? When you take 2,000 away from 3,000, so it will remain 1,000. Okay. Now this is going to be the remainder. So you add 0 to the back of the remainder. So you ask yourself, now this is 10,000 now. How many 2,000 are you going to see in 10,000? That's going to be 5. Okay, so what we have done now is we have expressed 3 over 2,000 in decimal. So the decimal form of 3 over 2,000 is 0.0015. Hope that is clear. All right, so what's the next thing to do? We convert the decimal to standard form. Now let's do that together. So don't forget what I said, converting number to standard form. You move the point to the back of the first significant digit. And now the first significant digit here is what? 1 and not 0. So the second significant digit here is what? Is 5. So now let's move the point to the back. So we move it 1, 2, 3. So we are moving the point 3 times. So you have 1.5. You can ignore the zeros here. So times 1 over 1,000. Because we have moved the point 3 times to the back. Okay, so and this is the same thing as 1.5 times 10 raised to the power of minus 3. So this is the answer to this problem. All right, so how do we award mark to this? Now, for the first one, for writing this, A1. Now look at this second one. For converting this to standard form, you have M1, to decimal number, sorry, M1. And for converting the decimal to standard form, you have A1. Now look at the second one, the third one rather. So for converting to decimal, you have M1. And for getting your answer in standard form, you have A1. So how many marks altogether we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 marks. So 1 mark to the first one, 2 marks to this, and 2 marks to this. Okay. Now let us look at the last one. Let's look at the last one. Okay, this last one, I would want you to do this. I want you to do this and give me your answer so that I'll be sure that you are with me. Now, see how you present your answer now, because you need to type. So, if it is 1.34 times 10 raised to the power of 3, so you can write it in word. 1.4 times, you can do this times 10 raised to power of, so if it is raised to power of, use this symbol. If you have that, raised to power of 3. All right, so this is what we're going to use so that I'll get what you're talking about. All right, so 1.34 times, so we have 1.34 times 10 raised to power of 3. So you can write it this way so that I will know you are talking about this. Okay, so now can we do that for this now? Tell me what's the answer of this. Okay, let's quickly drop the answer before we move to the next thing. Okay, let me check. All right, I can see, yes, Bamidele is giving me an answer. That's 3.52 times 10 raised to the power of 5. Oh, okay, 3.52 times 10 raised to the power of 5. Okay, 3.52 times 10 raised to the power of 5. Okay, I can see Balogun, I can see Nosiru, I can see who is this? Akoni, I can see Akoni, I can see God Treasure, I can see Bamidele Riscots. Okay, 3.52 times 10 raised to the power of 5. Okay, good. Okay, I can see Oluwa Tomiwa. Okay, so times 10 raised to the power of minus 5. Okay, all right. Show me day, I can see that. Times 10 raised to the power of 5. All right. Okay, so now let's check whether we are correct or not. Now let's look at the last one we have there. Okay, so we have 0.0000. How many zero? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 3, 5, 2. Now you have to convert this to standard form. Now you have to move the point to the back of the first significant digit. Now the first significant digit is 3. So now let's move the point to the back of first significant digit. So let's move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have moved 5 to the back. Okay, so now we have 3.52 times 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is 1 over 100,000. Okay, so now that gives us 3.52 times 10 raised to the power of minus 5. Good. I think we have brilliant minds here today. So those of you that have this 3.52 times 10 raised to the power of minus 5, now give yourself a round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause. That's very good. So if you miss it, now encourage those people that got the answer. All right. So don't forget, for you to get this, you must put minus 5. Minus 5 must be there. Okay. So how do we award this? So you just have an accuracy mark of 1. So that's going to be the answer to that problem. All right. So now let's move down to the second question. Now you have to express the following as power of 10 and find the logarithms of each. Now before we solve this problem, if you are just joining, okay, make sure that you invite your mates. Invite your mates that the class, inform them the class has started, and also don't forget to give a thumb. Also, make sure that your four-figure table is right by your side, because you will need to be making use of that four-figure table. So if you don't have it now, go and get it, because we'll be making use of it. Okay, can we go on now? All right, now let's look at this. The first one, we have 3,419. Now you have to express this as power of 10. Now I want you to know what we want to do. Now if you are given 1,000 now, I ask you to express 1,000 as power of 10. So what I want you to do is to write 1,000 as 10 raised to the power of 3. Okay, so we want to do the same thing here. So this may be difficult for us to do without making use of our table. So we are going to be making use of our logarithm tables. Now let's do that. Now to do this, the first thing is to express this number in standard form. So you move the point. Now you can see there is no point in this number. So that means the point is at the back of the last significant digit. So the point should be moved to the back of the first significant digit, which is 3. So let's move 1, 2, 3. So that means this number is equal to 3.419 times 10 raised to the power of 3, because we have moved it 3 times to the front. Okay, so now let's move on. Now this is 10 raised to the power of, okay, so you check the logarithms of this. Okay, so now you write 0 points. So the procedure is, after converting to standard form, the next thing now is to write 10 raised to the power of 0 points. Okay, now you now go to your four-figure table. You check 34 under 1 and you add difference 9. 34 under 1, difference 4. Logarithms of numbers. So can you check that and drop your answer? Let me see what you have. So I told you are going to be doing a lot of work today. Yes. Let's check 34 under 1, difference 9. What do you have? What do you have as your answer? Okay, I can see 5393. Okay. Logarithms of number. Check 34 under 1. Add difference 9 to it. add difference 9 to it. So I can see different answer. So I have Bamidele, I can see your answer 533. So yes, progress, I can see that. Okay. All right. I can see 5339, 53393, 5339, 5339. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, so now, yes, I can see that some of us are doing a very good job. So, yes, I have mine here. So let me check what I have here. So when I check my own four-figure table, what I have for this 34 under 1 add difference 9, I have 5339. So those of you that got 53339, 5339, you are correct. So a round of applause for yourself. You are doing fine. Okay, so others, now you need to check very well and see why it's like that. So you check 34 under 1. So along that line, go to difference table, check what you have under 9. So whatever you have, add it to the number you have under 1. So you're going to have 5339. Okay, so now, so this is this. So we have times 10 raised to the power of 3. Now, the next thing is to apply law of indices here. So when multiplying, you add power. So we have 10 raised to the power of 0.5339 plus 3. So and that gives you 10 raised to the power. When you add this and this together, you have 3.5339. So that is what you have as your answer. Okay, so how do we award marks to this? Now, for expressing in standard form, you have M1, okay, and then for getting the answer, we have A1. So you have 2 marks altogether for that. Now, let's look at the second one. We have 38.16. We want to express this as power of 10, right? So now you have this to be equals to 3.816. You need to convert this to standard form times 10 raised to the power of 1 because we have moved the point just once to the back of the first significant digit. Hope you get that. All right, so now you now have, now this will be 10 raised to the power of 0 points. Okay, so now let's check the four-figure table, logarithms of numbers. So you check 38 under 1, add difference 6. Okay, this time around, I think everybody should get that. Now, 36 under 1, 38, sorry, 38 under 1, add difference 6. 38 under 1, add difference 6. What do you have? Drop your answer before we go on. Okay, 38 under 1, add difference 6. Okay, I can see, yes, 5816, 5816, 5226, 5816, 5816, 5816. Okay, I can see Nosiru, I can see Ghost Treasure, I can see Progress, I can see Tomo, I can see Shotola, I can see Basanya, and so on. Okay, so yes. Okay, I think majority of you got the answer. So what we have there is 5816. So if you get the answer, give yourself a round of applause. You are doing fine. All right. So now times 10 raised to the power of 1. So that is what we have. So the next thing is to apply law of indices. We have 10 raised to the power of 0.5816 plus 1. All right. So you add the powers together. So that's going to give you 10 raised to the power of 1.5816. So this is the answer to that problem. All right, so how do we award marks to this. So this is going to give you M1 for this for standard form and A1 for the answer. All right, so that is the end of the first part of the question. So we are having another questions. Okay, so now let's move on. So if you have not given a thumb to this video, ensure you do that now. Let's do that straight away. Make sure you are doing that, and don't forget, just like I told you at the beginning of the class, ensure you share this video with your mates. Let them come and join the class. All right, so let's move to the next set of questions. Evaluate in my figure 1, we have about 3.976 over 7, and the second one we have about 2.345 over 3, and let's take one more. We have about 4.7. Okay, now these are the questions. So let's see, how do we solve this problem? Now the first question we have here, you have to divide about 3.976 by 7. Okay, don't forget, we are working with logarithmic value. And in the previous video, I told you that logarithms have two parts. We have the mantissa and the integer. The mantissa is always positive, while the integer can either be negative or positive. Now, the mantissa is the decimal part, this part, and the integer is the whole number we have here. All right, so now let's see, how do we divide this? Now, since this is a negative number, you have to look for a number that 7 will completely go in it. Right, so now what we have here is bar 3. 7 cannot completely go in bar 3. Now you begin to look for numbers that is more than bar 3, that 7 will completely go in it. So just start, after bar 3 you have bar 4. Now you check, can 4 go in bar 4? No. Move down to the next one, you increase it, you increase the negative, so that's bar 5. Can 7 go in bar 5? No. Bar 6, can 7 go? No. Bar 7. Can 7 go in bar 7? Yes. So that means you have increased the negative 4 times. So now you now rewrite this expression to be bar 7, okay, plus, now because you have increased this one by minus 4, that is bar 4. So you must write 4.976 over 7. Hope you get that. Since I've increased this one by bar 7, so I have about 4 rather, so I have to write 4 here so that it will balance. Okay, so now we can now divide now. So let's divide. Now 7 goes in bar 7. That's going to give you bar 1. Now 7 goes in 49. That is 7. So you have 7. Okay, so 7 goes in 7, that is 1. Now 7 goes in 6, that is 0. Okay, so you are left with 6. So you put 0 here now. So how many 7 are you going to see in 60? That is what? That is 8. Okay, so now we can stop here. So now let's express our answer in 4 SF. So you just have 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is going to be bar 1.711. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you approximate this one, it comes here, so you have 1. All right. Hope you get that. All right. So that is that. Now let's move down to the next thing. Okay. So we have bar 2.345. We are dividing it by what? By 3. Okay. So we have bar 2.345 divided by 3. So now to do this, what comes to mind now is, can 3 go in bar 2? Can it go? No. So I will look for the next negative number that 3 will go in completely in it. So you have bar 3 is the next one. So you must have increased this bar 2 by 1. So now, so you rewrite the numerator as bar 3 plus 1.345 over 3. Because you have increased this one by 1, so this one is going to have 1. Is that clear? All right. So now let's move on. So now 3 goes in bar 3, you have bar 1. Now 3 goes in 13. That is going to give you what? That's 4. You have a remainder of 1. So you put that 1 in front of 4. Okay. Now 3 goes in 14. That is 4. You have a remainder of 2. So you put that at the back of the front of 5. Now 3 goes in 25. That is what? That is 8. You have a remainder of 1. So you put 0 at the back of that remainder. So 3 goes in 10. That is what? That is 3. Okay. So now you can approximate it to bar 4.448. So this is going to be the answer. So now the last one, okay, you have to divide this by, let me check. Divide this by 3. You divide this by 3. Okay, can you do this one and let me see your answer? Now do this one. Bar 4.7 divided by 3. So what's going to be your answer? Can you do this and let me have your answer? So if you have, let's say your answer is bar 3.8 now. So this is the way you are going to present your answer. Okay, let's do it this way. Just write it at the front. I will understand. You just circle your negative 3.8. Just circle. To me is bar. All right. So that means this negative is only on 3. So you can write it this way. I will understand what you mean. So because this negative is supposed to be at the top. So you may not be able to do that in your system. So, but if you can do that, you can do that. You can do it. So bar 3 point. If your answer is bar 3.8, so you write it this way. So let's do this and let me have your answer. Okay. Is anybody dropping answer here? Okay, I can see. Okay, that should be bar 2.9. That should be bar 2.9. Yes. Okay, yes. Okay. I can see Agbon there. Okay, you are giving me bar 2.9. Yes. Obasanjo, I can see bar 2.9. Okay. All right, I can see Oluwatosin bar 2.9. God Treasure. Okay, Suraja, I can see Basira, I can see Obasanya, I can see Oluwatoyin, I can see Nosiru, Balogun, bar 2.9, bar 2.9. Okay, good. It seems everybody is getting bar 2.9. So I'm suspecting that is going to be the answer. All right, now let's check. Let's confirm. Now we have bar 4.7. Now we are dividing by 3. Now it's obvious now that 3 cannot go in bar 4. So you look for the next bar that 3 will completely go in it. That's going to be bar 6. So you must have increased this bar 4 by 2. Okay, so now that means this expression we have in the numerator will become bar 6 plus 2.7 over 3. All right, so now, and this is going to give you 3 goes in bar 6. That is going to give you bar 2 point. Now 3 goes in 27. That gives you what? 9. So that means bar 2.9 is correct. Now give yourself a round of applause. That is very good. So you guys are brilliant. I love that. Now let's move down to something nice. Okay, let's move to the next thing. Okay. Evaluate without calculator, 38.16 times 0.032 raised to the power of 2. Okay, so now let's look at this question. How do we solve this problem? Okay, how do we solve this problem? So we are going to be making use of our number log. This time around, we are not making use of the calculator. We want to make use of our 4-figure table. All right, so now you have a table of number and log. So these are the numbers multiplying each other. So we are going to evaluate this in the logarithmic side. So we have 38.16 times 0.032 raised to the power of 2. So this is what we want to do now. So how do we go about this? Now the first thing to do now is to change this number to logarithm. So what is going to be the logarithmic form of this? Now the first thing is to find the characteristics of this number. So what will be the characteristic of this number? So characteristic of this number is the number of times we are going to move the point to make this number to be in standard form. That is, you move the point to the back of the first significant digit. So how many times are you going to move the point? So the number of times you are going to move the point is going to be our characteristic. So if I'm to move the point to the back of 3 now, I'm going to move it once. So it's going to move here just once. So that's going to be 1 point. So that's going to be the characteristic. So what you are going to do for me now, you check 38 under 1, you add difference 6. So on your 4-figure table. All right, 38 under 1, difference 6. Okay, let me see the first person that will give me the correct answer. Let's quickly do that. Okay, 31 under, oh, yes, you guys are spectacular. I can see that you have already dropped the answer. Okay, that's 5816, 5816, 5816. Oh, that's very awesome. Okay, so I can see, okay, 5816, 5816, 5816. Okay, all right. So this is very good. Now we have 5816. That is what I have in my own 4-figure table. 5816. So that is the logarithm of this. Now let's look at this one now. The second one. Now before we do that, look at the sign we have here. This is multiplication. So when multiplying numbers, what do we do to the power? In your law of indices, you add. And don't forget, logarithm is indices is the power to which the base must raise to. So we have to make use of the operation of the power. So that's going to be plus. Okay. Now you find the characteristic of this number. So what will that one be? Is anybody dropping the answer? The characteristic of this number we have here is 0.032. What's going to be the characteristics? Okay, so I know you already know number of times you are going to move the point to make it to be in standard form. So that is going to be -2. So you move it 1, 2. But I told you that in logarithm, you don't write the negative of integer at the front. So it's going to be at the head. So you call it bar 2. So you have bar 2. Okay, so that's characteristic of the number. So now you check 32 under 0. 32 under 0. Okay, let's check that and drop your answer in the comment section. All right, 32 under 0. 32 under 0. Okay, I'm seeing different answers. 5051, 5051, good. 5051, 5051, 5051, 5051, okay. All right, I think everybody is getting 5051. So yes, we are very, very correct. So please just give it to yourself. You guys are nice. You are doing fine. All right, so you have 50, okay, 5051. So that is what I have. All right, now, so we have raised to the power of 2. So once we have raised to the power of 2, we are going to multiply this by 2. Now let's multiply this by 2. Now 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 5, that's 10. You write 0 and you hold your 1. 2 times 0 is 0. You add 1 to it, you have 1. 2 times 5, that is 10. You write 0. You hold 1. Now 2 times bar 2, that gives you bar 4. Bar 4 plus 1. Bar 4 is the same thing as -4. So -4 plus 1, that gives you -3. So we have bar 3. Okay, so now the next thing now is you now add. Okay, you add the answer you have here with this. So now let's bring it out here. So we have 1.5816 plus bar 3.0102. Okay, so now let us add and see what we have. Let's add and see what we have. Okay, so now let's add this and this. What do you have? You have 8. Okay, so when you add 1 and 0, you have 1. 8 and 1, you have 9. 5 and 0, 5. Now add 1 and bar 3. So 1 plus -3. So now that's going to give you -2. Okay, right, so you have bar 2 here. Now we have done the evaluation now in the logarithm side. So you change it back to number. So we are going to be making use of your anti-logarithm table to get the number of this logarithmic value. So now what we are going to check, so you move down to your anti-logarithms table. Check 0.59 under 1 and add difference 8. You check 0.59 under 1 difference 8. Don't check logarithm, check anti-logarithms table. Okay, now can we quickly do that and drop the answer to that? Okay, 0.59 under 1 difference 8. So what do you have? Okay, I'm seeing 3906. Okay, 3906, 3906, 0.3906. Okay, all right, 3906, 3906, 3906. Okay, good. So the answer is 3906. 3906. Okay, so that is what I have here. Okay, so 3906. So that's what we have when you check your four-figure table. Now, you can see what we have here. We have bar 2. Now, once you have bar 2 here, so you write 2 zeros at the front of your answer and you put point at the back of the first zero. Okay, so if you have bar 3, you have to write 3 zeros at the front and put point at the back of the first zero. Okay, can we do that? So now let's move this to the back a little bit. 3906. So you put 2 zeros. We have 2 zeros. Put point at the back of the first zero. So that means the answer to this problem is 0.03906. That is going to be the answer. So if someone used calculator to do the evaluation of this, so this is what the person is going to have. All right. So now, how do we award marks to this problem? Now, for checking correctly, we have a block mark 1. Now, for checking this correctly, we have another block mark 1 for that. Now, for multiplying by 2, because this is raised to the power of 2, here now you are multiplying by 2, we have a method mark 1 for this. Okay, for adding and getting the correct answer, we have accuracy mark 1 for that. And for getting this answer, we have another 1 mark. So altogether, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 marks. 5 marks. 5 marks altogether. All right. Now, let's move down to another question. Let's move down to another question. Use only tables to evaluate 38.16 times 0.032 raised to the power of 2 all over cube roots of 47.3 times 88.7. Okay, so now look at the question. You have to evaluate this using only table. Only table. So now let's do that. Okay. So we have our number line, number logarithm. Sorry, we have our number logarithm. So now the first one we have 38.16 times 0.032 raised to the power of 2. So we quickly do the numerator part of it. So that is similar to what we just did now. So you find the characteristics. So you have 1.5816. So that is what you have there. So for this, you have about 2.5051. That was what you gave me the other time. So you multiply this by 2. Okay. When you do that, okay, 2 times 1, we have 2. Times 5, we have 10. You write 0. Okay, times 2, so you have 1. Times 2, 0. You have 1. 2 times 2. 2 times bar 2. You have bar 4 plus 1. That's bar 3. Okay, so that is what we have for the first part. That's for the numerator. Okay. So now you now add together. Let's add. So because this is close now, so let's add. We have 1.5816 plus bar 3.0102. So when you add, what do you have? So you have 8, 1, 8 plus 1, that's 9, 5 plus 0, that's 5, and then 1 plus bar 3, that's bar 2. So that is what this one is what we have for the numerator. This numerator. Okay. So now let's move down to the denominator. Okay. So now denominator. So we have cube root of 47.3 times 88.7. Now let's find the characteristic of this number. So what's the characteristic of 47.3? That is 1. Good. So you have 1. Okay, so let's check 47 under 3. Can you check that and tell me the answer? 47 under 3. Okay. Now is anybody giving me the answer? Okay, 47 under 3. Yes, 47 under 3, yes, I can see answers, yes. 47 under 3. So I think everybody have, a lot of us have 6749. 6749. That is correct. 6749. So we have 6749. So 6749. Okay, so now we have cube root of 3. Cube root of what we have here, cube root. So that means we are dividing this by 3. So let's divide this by 3. So when you divide it by 3, what do you have? Now let's divide this by 3. Okay, can you quickly do that? And drop your answer before we do it together. Okay, try that. 1.6749 divided by 3. So what do you have? Now can you quickly do that? All right, I'm waiting for your answer. 1.6749. So what is going to be your answer? Okay, now let me watch. Yes. Okay, nobody is giving an answer yet. 1.6749. What is going to be your answer? Okay, I can see an answer. 0.5583. Let's wait for others. Ensure you are not making use of your calculator, right? So you are supposed to solve this problem without calculator. All right. So we have 0.5583, 0.5583, 0.5583. Okay. All right. I can see. Yes. Okay, let's wait for others. Please, can you quickly drop your answer so that we move forward? Right, 0.5583. Okay, I can see 1.8816. That is Bamidele Scott. Okay, yes. Omotola. So I can see 0.5583. All right, so 0.5583. So that is going to be the question. So how do we do this? Now let's look at it. So this is the way you expected to do it without your calculator. Now 3 goes in 1 is 0. It's not possible. You cannot see 3 in 1 to have a whole number. All right. So now you join this and this together. That's 1 and 6. That's 16. So 3 goes in 16. That is 5. So you'll be left with what? Will be 1. You'll be left with 1. So put that 1 in front of the next digit, which is 7. So 3 goes in 17. That is what? That's 5. So you have a remainder of 2. Put that 2 in front of 4 and ask yourself, 3 goes in 24. That's going to be 8, because 3 times 8, that gives you 24, right? So now 3 goes in 9. 3 goes in 9 is what? 3. 3 goes in 9 is 3. So that's how we got the answer. Okay. Now we move down to this next one. So let's see what's the characteristic of this number. That's 1. So you check 88 under 7. So what do you have? Check your logarithm table. 88 under 7. What do you have as your answer? 88 under 7. Yes. Yes. Is anybody dropping an answer? 88 under 7. 88 under 7. Yes. Okay. Which one is Olatubosun dropping? Is it the previous one? Okay. We have gone beyond that. Okay. So now, yes. So I can see 9479. Okay. Yes. 94. 9479. 9479. 9479. Okay. 9479. So I'm working with your value. All right. 9479. Okay, I can see Modupe, I can see Yesterday, I can see Basirat, I'm seeing Oluwatosin. Yes, you guys are doing fine. All right. So I can see Taiwo Adiola, I can see Bamidele, Riscott. Okay. Now 9479. 9479. 9479. That is correct. Yes. 9479. 9479. That is what I have here. So you guys are doing fine. All right, now let's add this together because we are multiplying. So you must add the values together. So let's add. Now when you add this 3 and 9, that gives you what? 12. So you write 2, you move 1 to the next one. So 8 plus 7 plus 1, that's 16. You write 6, you keep 1. So 5 plus 4 plus 1, that is 10. You write 0, you hold 1. So now 5 plus 9 plus 1, that's 15. You write 5, you hold 1. All right, so it's 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, rather 0 plus 1 plus 1, so you have 2. Okay, so this is what we have for the addition. So now we're already done with the numerator and the denominator. So now when dividing, what do? We subtract. So now, so we subtract the numerator from the denominator from the numerator. So that's what we're going to do now. So now let's do that. So we put our answer here. That's going to be our final answer in the logarithmic side. Okay, now let's subtract now. Now, 8 minus 2, that is what? We have 6. Now, 1, so we have to pick 1 from here. That's 11. 11 minus 6, that is 5. Okay, so you are left with 8. 8 minus 0, you have 8. Now, the next one is 5. Okay, so now 5 minus 5, that gives you what? That's 0. Okay, so now we now have bar 2 minus 2. Bar 2 minus 2. So can you tell me what would be the answer? Okay, I want to be sure. Maybe you already know that. Bar 2 minus 2, because we are taking this away from this. So can I see your answer? What would that one be? Let me see the first person that will give me the correct answer. Yes, okay, I'm seeing 0. Oh, now I think Lekon is the first person to give me the correct answer. The answer is not 0. The answer is not 0. The answer is minus 4, and that is bar 4. Okay, so now since this one is not plus, so you cannot have 0. If you have, this is same thing as minus 2 minus 2. You have a depth of 2 and another depth of 2. That gives you a depth of 4. So that is, but if you have minus 2 plus 2, that gives you 0. Okay, please, now let's take note of that. You have to be very careful. Now, in this case now, we'll be having bar 4. Bar 4. So, bar 2 minus 2. So, that's going to give you bar 4. So, now, we are done with the evaluation in the logarithm side. Now, let's move it down to number. Let's move it down to number. Okay, so how do you do this? So, you check points 0, 8 under 5 at different 6. 0.05, 0.8 under 5 at different 6. Now, can you quickly do that and drop your answer? Do that and drop your answer. Yes, we are waiting for you. Yes, let's see your answer here. Okay, all right, I'm seeing 1, 2, 1, 8. Okay, 1, 2, I can see 7, 1, 7, 8, 1, 2, 1, 8. All right, so we are waiting for others. Yes, let's wait for others. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 8. 1, 2, 1, 8. 1, 2, 1, 8. I can see Shomide. I can see Obasoya. I can see Olatubosun. Okay, Olatubosun is 5531. Okay, are you sure you checked very well, Olatubosun? Yes. Oluwatoyin 1, 2, 1, 8. 1, 2, 1, 8. Yes. Please, we are waiting for others to drop their answer. Make sure you drop your answer. Okay. 1, 2, 7, 8. Okay. Okay. Yes, I can see a good treasure. 1, 2. So now the answer is 1, 2, 1, 8. So you have 1, 2, 1, 8. So those of you that have this answer, please give yourself a round of applause. So that is correct. Now you can see 1, 2, 1, 8 is what we have. Now the next thing now is look at the integer we have here. This is bar 4. So you add 4 0 to the front of this number you have here. So 4 0 because you have bar 4. If it is 3, if it is bar 3, you put 3 0. If it is bar 2, you put 2 0. If it is bar 1, just 1 0. And put point at the back of the 4 0. So now this time around we have bar 4. So you have 0, 0, 0, 0. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So and you put points at the back of the first 0. So this is going to be the answer to the problem. Good. So now how do we award marks to this question? So for getting the logarithmic value here, you have bar 1. Now for this, you have bar 1. For multiplying by 2, you have a method mark of 1. And finally getting the answer for the numerator, we have an accuracy mark of 1. Now here, for checking correctly, we have B1. For dividing by 3, we have M1. For checking 88.7 to be 1.9479, we have block mark 1. For subtracting and getting the correct answer, we have A1. And for getting the final answer, we have another accuracy mark 1. So all together, how many marks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, that's a very big number. So 9 marks. 9 marks all together. All right. So I want to believe you've learned one or two things. So in very short time, I'm going to give you something you do. What I want from you is just your final answer. Now, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. And let me have your answer in the comment section. Okay, let's do this. We have 34.83 times 5.427. Now, let's do this without calculator. Let's quickly do this and let me have your answer. So this is going to be the final thing we're going to be doing today. Okay, so now can we quickly attempt that question? Okay, let's do that. Evaluate 34.83 times 5.427. Now let's quickly do this and tell me your answer. So make sure you make use of your four-figure table and follow the method that we used. Okay, so let's wait for your answers. Okay, I think I'm now seeing answers. Okay, I can see 1845. I can see 2.2666. I can see 193.5. Okay, let's wait for others to drop their answer. So in the next 30 seconds, we are going to declare the answer to that problem. Okay. Okay, let's wait for others. Okay, we're about giving the answer to that problem. Okay, now we are going to solve the problem together. So we see for ourselves. which one is correct. Okay, now let's look at the question. Now you have to evaluate this. So we have our number log. So we have 34.83 times 5.427. Now, how do you do this? Now, you find the characteristics of this number. That's 1 point. Okay, so now you check 34 under 8. You add difference 3. 34 under 8, add difference 3. So you must have done it. Now, let me see what you have for that. Okay, show me what you have for that. 34 under 8, difference 3. So what do you have for that? Yes. Okay, I'm waiting for your answer. What do you have for that? Check 34 under 8. 34 under 8, difference 3. So what do you have? Okay, yes, if you check correctly, you'll be having 5420. That's good. 5420. 5420. Okay, that is what we have. Now, can we look at the second one? All right, now don't forget, before you start checking, this is multiplication. So this turns to plus. So the characteristic of this number is 0. Hope you know, because the point is already at the back of the first significant digit. So you write 0. So now you check 54 under 2, add difference 7. 54 under 2, add difference 7. Now, can you do that now? Check and tell me the answer you have. Yes. Okay, I'm seeing 7246, 7246, 7246, 7246, 7246, 7246. So what I have here is 7346. 7346. Okay, so I don't know, probably maybe something is wrong. Now look at your four-figure table, look at the arrangement of the numbers. Probably maybe something is wrong with your four-figure table. Can you check? Now it should be sequential. It should be sequential. Probably maybe something is wrong. So can you quickly check that? So whenever you are checking your four-figure table, you have to look at it very well. You must be sure that there is no typographical error. All right. So now check. What I have in my four-figure table is 7346. Okay, I want you to verify that. Check that in your four-figure table if that is going to be the correct one. Okay, I want you to confirm that. Okay, confirm that. That is what I have. Check your four-figure table. So if you agree with me, now give me a thumb. If you agree with me. Yes, I asked you to check. Oluwatosin, I asked you to check your four-figure table. Look at the numbers we have in that row. Look at it. Ensure that those numbers are sequential. So if it's not sequential, probably something went wrong somewhere. All right, so check your four-figure table. I hope, so check. Now what you are supposed to have is 7346. 73, and if you have your textbook will have four-figure table at the back of your textbook, so you can always check that. So I think there should be an error in your four-figure table. So check your textbook and look for logarithms of 54 under 2 add difference 7. Okay. Okay, can you check now? Okay, I want everybody to confirm if there is an error. Okay, somebody is writing a typographical error. Good. So now check the correct thing that's supposed to be there. You will see the way it's increasing. So instead of 2, it should be 3. Yes, I want you to drop the correct answer. So that's why I'm waiting for you. I want us to be on the same page. All right. Okay. I think somebody, Oluwatosin, have discovered that. I want everybody to discover that so that you will not go and meet that in your exams and you mess up because there is a typographical error. So if you have confirmed that as your answer, please now drop the correct answer now. Drop the correct answer. Okay. Yes. I'm waiting for others. I want everybody to be on the same page. Good. All right. All right. Okay. So now, so this is what you're supposed to have as logarithms of this. So now the next thing is to add. Let us add together. Now, is 0 plus 6 is going to give you 6. 2 plus 4 gives you 6. 4 plus 3 gives you what? 7. 5 plus 7 gives you 12. You keep 1, you add that 1 to this, you have 2. All right, so we have done the evaluation here. So you change it back to a number. All right, so what is going to be the value for 0.27 under 6 difference 6? Okay, now let's do that. 0.27 under 6 difference. So check your anti-logarithm table and let me have your answer. Yes, can we do that now? 0.27 6 under 6 difference 6. Okay, I'm seeing 81.87. Okay, 1891. Okay, now I expect everybody to be dropping answer now. So we are only checking the anti-logarithm table. Anti-logarithm table, that's what we're checking. Yes. 1891. 1891. Okay. Yes, I can see Basira, I can see Zenob, I can see Bamidele Shotayo, I can see Balogun, I can see Nosiru, I can see Agbode, I can see Oluwa, Shemu, Huba, and others. Okay, you are dropping your answer. Fine, you are doing fine. So now, what do we have? Let me check my own answer here. I have 1891. 1891. That is what I have in my anti-logarithm table. So now look at this one here. This is 2 and not bar 2. So you add 1 to this integer here. That gives you 3. Add 1 to it gives you 3. So you count 3 digits from the front. So you count 1, 2, 3. Then you put points. You put point here. Okay. You add 1 to this integer. That gives you 3. Count 3 digits from the front. That gives you the answer to this problem. So therefore I have 34.83 times 5.427 is 189.1. So that is the answer. So I want every one of you to give me a round of applause because my own answer is correct. Probably because I'm using the correct 4-figure table. So note that in your 4-figure table. So I'm the only person that have the correct answer here. All right, so give me a round of applause. All right, but I must be sincere with you. You guys tried because you gave me what you have in your 4-figure table. So now that's a lesson you need to learn, that always ensure that you check your 4-figure table if there is an error. So before you go for exam, make sure you are familiar with your four-figure table. All right. So all of this, if you have done that, you will have noticed all of this discrepancy. So check whenever you want to go for any exam. So now we are going to be rounding up the class for today. I want to believe that you enjoy the class. And honestly, I must be sincere with you. I enjoy your complaint today. You can see today's class is just a fun. And that is what I want mathematics to look like. So, and I want you to build confidence in mathematics. There's no big deal. It is all what we have just done today. So you can see it's very simple. Now, tonight, we are going to be having another class. So I'll be taking you on set theory. We're going to be doing set theory. Okay, so I want you to click the subscription table button rather. So you subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified when we are on air. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to like this page. Also, make sure you share this video with a friend. Now, always check, try and share with your friends so that they will enjoy the class. What you enjoy, they will also enjoy with you. So I want to believe we've learned a lot today. So till evening, so have a wonderful day. Thanks and God bless. Bye bye.